Now at 6, Joplin police arrest an Illinois murder suspect after an hours-long standoff. Plus, a federal jury decides the fate of Arkansas native and former reality star Josh Duggar, and what Joplin officials are doing to prevent future fires and thefts at the old Rangeline Holiday Inn.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A 10-hour-long standoff in Joplin ends with the arrest of a man wanted for murder in Illinois. This is KOAM News at 6. The incident started early this morning around 1 a.m. Joplin police say an officer spotted the suspect, Christopher Eccles. As he tried to stop him, Eccles ran off to a house on South Connor. Around 11 a.m., police took the suspect into custody. Eccles is wanted for murder in Vermilion County, Illinois. The Missouri State Highway Patrol and the Springfield Police Department assisted the JPD in that operation. Former reality TV star Josh Duggar was immediately taken into custody today after a federal jury convicted him of downloading and possessing child pornography. The jury in Fayetteville, Arkansas found the 33-year-old Duggar guilty on 1 count each of receiving and possessing child pornography. Faces up to 20 years in prison, fines up to $250,000 for each count when he's sentenced. The judge says sentencing will happen in about 4 months. Duggar and his large Arkansas family starred on TLC's 19 Kids and Counting until the network canceled the show in 2015 following revelations that he had molested 4 of his sisters and a babysitter. Oklahoma has executed a man for the 1985 shooting death of an Oklahoma City area school teacher. Bigler Stouffer II received a 3-drug lethal injection today at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAllister. The 79-year-old had maintained his innocence in the attack on Linda Reeves and her boyfriend, Doug Ivins. They left Reeves dead and Ivins seriously injured. The execution proceeded after courts rejected Stouffer's claim that the state's lethal injection method would result in unconstitutional pain and suffering. The Oklahoma Attorney General, John O'Connor, said in a statement that the execution, quote, was carried out with 0 complications. Doug Hetty, weather-wise, nice day out there.
Yeah, it actually turned out to be a pretty good Thursday for us today, as at least the beginning of the week was kind of chilly across most of the region, but clear skies for us today. We went well into the 60s for highs, and we still have clear skies. We do have a developing storm system which is out across the Rockies. You can see the snow picking up through the higher elevations, so this system will start to affect us as we work into the daytime hours tomorrow. Temperatures mainly into the upper 50s. I think we'll drop back into lower 50s later on tonight, but southerly winds, they're going to diminish a little bit over the next few hours and then start to pick back up again late tonight. So we'll drop back near 50 by midnight, which isn't bad, and then our temperatures rise toward dawn. I think we'll be near 60 if you're getting up early tomorrow morning. Even warmer for us tomorrow, and then changes working in. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. Thanks, Doug. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmidt is warning school districts and local public health officials that he'll take legal action if they do not stop enforcing COVID-19 related health orders, such as mask mandates and quarantine rules. In letters sent this week, Schmidt cited a Cole County judge's ruling last month that said health orders issued by local authorities under state health regulations were null and void. Schmidt's office is asking Missourians to send in photos and video from school districts that are still enforcing mask policies. The former Holiday Inn in Joplin has sat vacant for several years now. There have been several plans to renovate the building into a new hotel facility, but so far none have panned out. KOAM's Chris Warner sat down with Troy Bolander with the city of Joplin to find out what's being done to secure the site and what its future holds.
18. That's the number of times the former Holiday Inn has been on the agenda for the Building Board of Appeals. While it's not unusual for buildings in the city, it does mean that progress isn't really being made at the site, at least not physical progress.
We have a couple of name brand hotels that are currently looking at it, but anytime you have a vacant building, it's a liability not only to the city, but people in that area.
Hotel development advisors took control of the property in August of 2020 after the original owner defaulted on a loan. In the presentations to the Building Board of Appeals, the primary concern has been security at the property. Late last year, following an incident resulting in a mayday call from 2 Joplin firefighters, the property was better secured by new fencing and sealing of outside access points.
Even then, it's difficult to keep people out of it. Any vacant building in any community is always a risk. You get vagrants and homeless people occupying those facilities, so that needs to be watched closely.
In one meeting of the Board of Appeals, the owners noted that after putting up some fencing, vagrants set fire to the boards to burn holes through them to get into the facility. In terms of getting something started, even with prospects on the table, Bolander says he's cautiously optimistic.
And unfortunately, that's a complicated project and a very expensive project, so you've seen a lot of deals that didn't come to fruition. Probably the latest one we've seen so far is the most promising. Try to manage expectations. Nothing's for sure until you get the building plans and someone applies for a permit.
As for the building being a danger, Bolander says the Board of Appeals can order a demolition if progress isn't made.
I think the leverage that you see or that the city has is actually through the building board. They've been watching it closely, so if they don't see progress or the investment group moving forward, then they'll make sure that something occurs that will happen at that location. But now they're giving the owner an opportunity to fix the situation.
In Joplin, Chris Warner, KOAM News.
Bolander adds that while the building isn't part of the new 32nd Street place, it is part of the TIF district, and TIF funds could potentially be used to help rehab the property if a name brand hotel decides to move forward with the building. The Joplin Regional Airport has some improvements. Over the summer, one of the airport's runways was rebuilt and runway lights were replaced. In total, the project cost $14.5 million. The city paid $600,000. The other $13.9 million came from a federal CARES Act grant.
We are the first runway in the central region, which is Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and Kansas, to actually have these lights on our runway. We're very excited about it. The abilities, the capabilities and the abilities for pilots to see those lights are far outweigh those of the old incandescent. So,
after a rededication ceremony, guests were able to taxi out to the runway to check it out. Still ahead, U.S. leaders gather to honor the late Kansas Senator Bob Dole. And later, the Joplin Lady Eagles kick off their tournament with a matchup against Blue Valley West. We'll have the highlights in sports. President Biden, Vice President Harris, and congressional leaders gathered today to pay tribute to the life and legacy of the late Senator and Kansas native Bob Dole. The casket bearing the 98-year-old who died over the weekend lies in state at the U.S. Capitol until this evening. Stacy Lynn reports from Washington.
Bob Dole loved this Capitol.
President Biden joined congressional leaders in the Capitol Rotunda to pay tribute to Senator Bob Dole.
It's hard to think of anyone who was more worthy to have a flag draped over his coffin because of his great patriotism to our country.
Over the course of 3 decades, Dole served in both the House and Senate, earning a reputation as a deal-maker who prioritized principles over party.
Bob never hesitated to work with Democrats to get things done.
He overcame disabling war wounds he suffered while serving in World War II. His debilitating experience inspired him to push for the Americans with Disabilities Act and to champion other humanitarian issues.
The real engine behind Bob's 98 remarkable years was his love for Elizabeth and for Robin, for public service, for Kansas, and for America.
President Biden, who served alongside Dole in the Senate, read from his final message to the country before challenging lawmakers to come together.
I've always served my country best when I did it so first and foremost as an American. The truth of the matter is, as divided as we are, the only way forward for democracy is unity.
Dole's funeral will take place Friday at the Washington National Cathedral ahead of a final farewell service Saturday in his home state of Kansas. Stacy Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Dole sought the presidency 3 times but failed. President Biden has ordered flags at government facilities to be flown at half-staff in the late senator's honor. Later, a Seneca softball standout is taking her talents to the next level. We'll tell you where she's landing in sports.
Plus some rain chances and even warmer as we head into Friday. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be a much warmer day for us today. It was cold on Monday and Tuesday. We started to warm things back up a little bit for us yesterday. And then today, well into the 60s for highs, well above where we should be for this time of the year, which has kind of been the trend over the past month or so, as in general, temperatures have been above average. We're still sitting mid to upper 50s, anywhere from 55 in Fort Scott, Grove, 60 in Neosho. We have 51 in Neodesha. We are going to drop back through the 50s during the evening hours, but it's not going to be cold tonight, which is good. The winds have kind of diminished. We have a weak little front that is kind of sinking in, and then it's going to lift back toward the north late tonight. As it lifts back north, our temperatures will actually start to warm. So we'll drop for about the next 6 hours, and then we'll start to warm up. 7th and range line currently at 59. We have south wind at 3. Humidity is not bad at about 58%. Through the evening hours, we slide back to about 50 by midnight, and then we'll slowly start to work upwards. By dawn, I think most of us will be in the upper 50s to near 60. Clear skies, not much is going on here. We have clouds increasing to our north and then to our south with our next storm system, developing storm system. You can see it out through the Rockies. Look at the snow. A couple feet of snow in the upper elevations of the mountains in central Colorado where they need it. They are way behind on snowfall this year. So this is going to become a monster storm system across the northern plains and then also produce severe weather east of us. It's not going to do a lot for us, but the main thing it will do is drag a strong cold front through. Big change here, though, is our jet stream starting to dip farther out to the west. That really changes our weather up over the next few weeks. All right, let's go through tonight. We drop back near 50, warm near 60 by morning. We'll have a lot of clouds. We're going to get a little batch of showers in here. This is going to be late morning into the early afternoon. They'll push on by. We'll stick with the clouds most of the day, but our temperatures are going to soar. 56 in the morning, 70 by noon. High temp right around 74, which is about 25 degrees above our average high, so near record highs. Here's tomorrow evening, 9, 10 o'clock. Look at this intense cold front. It's going to plow through, so temperature is quite a bit colder. So we'll drop near freezing by Saturday morning, and Saturday kind of cool. We hang out near 50 for most of the day. We do start to warm things right back up. We turn again by the time we head into Sunday. Sunday's still cool, but at least we're into the 50s for highs. We go into the 60s Monday, Tuesday, looking good. Next cold front drops in by the time we head into late Wednesday, and this will cool us right back down once again for late next week. But overall, we get some pretty good days in here, at least temperature-wise. 74 tomorrow, a few showers late morning, early afternoon. Only 50 on Saturday, 56 on Sunday, but still not bad. Back to 70 on Tuesday, 71 on Wednesday. We cool down late next week. No snow chances over the next week, but we do have 2 solid shots for snow. One right before Christmas and one right after Christmas. So if you want snow, we got to wait a couple weeks.
So you're saying there's a chance?
There's a chance.
Of a white Christmas.
Yes.
Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, a 16-year-old Seneca softball player signs to continue her career in college. We're going to have details. And the Lady Eagle Classic begins at Joplin High School. Jacob Leonard joins us with that and more next.
Well, today is the opening day of the Lady Eagle Classic at Joplin High School. And there are 4 games on the schedule today, with the tournament host Eagles getting things started against Blue Valley West. At Joplin, 4-1 through 5 games. Whole student body out of school early to watch this one. First quarter, Ella Hafer got her with the fake. Eagles lead by 2 going to the second. That was a big quarter for Joplin. Hafer, board, and the putback, plus the foul. She finishes with 8 points. Then Emma Floyd. Great look to Scarlett Floyd. She goes off the window. Finally, Bryn Driver to Brooke Nice. Nice buries the 3. Eagles get the lead to 26-14 at half. A second half, Bryn Driver Nobody there. She turns and hits the jumper. She ties for a team high with 12. Brooke Nice, the other one getting 12 today. Hits the 3 there. She actually hit 3 threes in this one. Joplin wins the tournament opener today, 49-32. Also in the Lady Eagle Classic tonight, Carl Junction hits the floor against the Rogers Mountaineers. CJ aims to bounce back from its first loss to Girard. That one already started despite the blank scores there. CJ leads 41-29 going to the fourth quarter. In other local tournament action, today is the opening day of the Carthage Boys Invitational. The Tigers will hit the floor for their first game later this evening. Kicking things off, though, this afternoon, Webb City opens the tournament against West Plains. On the fast break, Dante Washington fakes, lays it in. 16 points today for Washington. Then Caden Turner gets up and puts it down. He finishes with 11. Isaiah Briscoe getting the steal. Nice pass here. Washington to Baron Duda for the finish. Cards lead 18-13. Another takeaway, William Hayes in the paint. Bank shot for 2. We're tied at half, but West Plains gets it done by 2 in the end, 50-48. Well, today's a big day for Seneca High School senior Hunter Beard. Beard signs today to continue her softball career at the college level. Now, Beard is staying in Southwest Missouri, signing to join the softball program at Cotty College in Nevada. She's a 4-time varsity letter winner for Seneca, earning all-conference, all-district, and all-region honors. And this is the unique part. She's signing today at just 16 years old.
I knew that I wanted to play softball at 10, maybe 9 years old. I started playing travel ball, and that's when I started really getting serious about it, and that's when I was really like, I want to play. I want to keep playing. I love the coach, and I think that's going to be a really great environment. Cotty is super full of traditions. Like when I signed, they gave me like a duck call because of like the ducks and stuff, and so it's just cool that there's so much tradition.
And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Barry Elliott served in the U.S. Army during the Korean War. His hometown, Fort Scott, Kansas. And we are proud to salute Barry Elliott. He's tonight's four-state hero. Jordan Abbey joins us now with a look at what's coming up tonight on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14.
Tonight at 9, the president and congressional leaders honor the life of former Senator Bob Dole. Also, a new report shows American casinos are making more money now this year than ever before. And we look at some of the most picked dog names of 2021. That, of course, much more coming away tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 after Thursday Night Football.
Jordan, thanks. The rest of the country is finally starting to catch up with states like Kansas and Missouri, it seems. In Nebraska, girls no longer have to compete on boys' teams if they want to wrestle in high school. This week, for the first time in Nebraska history, the state is hosting wrestling tournaments for high school girls' teams. Brittany Taylor was the first girl to medal at the Nebraska State Tournament in 2009, but to do so, she had to wrestle boys. Now she's coaching an all-girls team, one of 25 statewide that feature 166 female wrestlers. The inaugural Girls State Wrestling Championships are set for February 18th and 19th in Omaha. Or Jacob might tell you that it's actually pronounced wrestling.
It's wrestling in southeast Kansas, correct.
And you'll be covering some wrestling.
Are you going to cover wrestling or wrestling tonight?
It's wrestling. It's southeast Kansas, correct, yeah.
Wrestling in Kansas,
yeah.
Wrestling in Missouri?
That's the way I generally roll with it, yeah. They may dispute that.
Is that like a Miami thing?
No. In Oklahoma, it is Miami. There's no question. The residents of a town get to decide how their town is pronounced. The weather.
All right, for us tonight, we'll drop back near 50 and rise toward dawn. 74 tomorrow. We are going to get some showers late morning, early afternoon.
Final sports now.
So that wrestling that I'm talking about, Columbus hosting a triangular with Girard and Frontenac. We'll have some of those highlights tonight at 10.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Let's make it a great evening.